That's the thing, like I feel like I gotta be maybe like the most famous guy that never had like a TV show or like a real talent.
After Dan Bilzerian became the king of Instagram with over 20 million followers, after making an estimated $70 million in 1 year from poker winnings, after using his wealth to start a side career as an actor and stuntman, after gaining fans and haters worldwide by flaunting his excessive lifestyle, Dan Bilzerian has been living a life that most people can't even fathom. World travel, celebrity friends, high stakes gambling, and don't even get me started on the women. And he's living trouble free. There's been lawsuits, assault charges, heart attacks, and not to mention he's yet to find true love. But I guess he really didn't. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden, and this is After They're Famous. In this video, we are documenting the larger-than-life existence of Dan Bilzerian after his initial rise to fame. If you're wondering how he got to this point, you can check out the Before They're Famous bio I did on him. And as always, if you have any requests on who you want to see in a future video, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Dan Bilzerian was born on December 7th, 1980 in Tampa, Florida to his parents Paul and Terry. Dan owes the basis of his wealth to his father, who set up trust funds for Dan and his brother Adam after making millions on Wall Street. After being kicked out of high school, Dan joined the Navy with the goal of becoming a Navy SEAL, but ended up returning to civilian life after failing to complete his SEAL training. After his discharge, Dan started playing poker with his brother, and once he learned the ropes, he began to play competitively online. But soon it wasn't enough, and Dan began a high-stakes career, which is still his main source of income today since he signed his trust fund over to his brother. According to Dan, his biggest win in one poker session was $10.8 million, and as for losses, well, he says he's lost $3.6 million at the table 3 different times. Ouch. Dan created his Instagram account back in 2012 but wouldn't conquer social media until a year later. He was famous in the poker world, but he wouldn't become the internet god of hedonism he is today until 2013, when this footage aired from the World Series of Poker Finals. And with that, the internet fell in love. Once men all over the world found him on social media, he began gaining a legion of fans by giving them a window into the good life. But just because someone's worth millions upon millions of dollars doesn't mean they don't have their problems. In 2012, Dan had appeared in the action movie Olympus Has Fallen as a stuntman, but he wanted to do something bigger. So Dan gave the production of the Mark Wahlberg movie Lone Survivor $1 million of his own money, and he was guaranteed 8 minutes of screen time and 80 words of dialogue. Sounds like a good deal, right? As for the 80 words, well, Dan only had one line left in the final cut of the movie and sued the production for $1.2 million. Let's hope he was treated better by the producers of War Dogs. It's his love of weapons, but that actually got him in some hot water, and he was forced to film this. In 2014, Dan got into some more legal trouble after a Hustler photo shoot went bad, and a night out got ugly. In spring of that year, Dan was asked to do a photo shoot for Hustler. Janice ended up breaking her foot on the side of the pool when she didn't fully clear the fall. She sued Dan and Hustler, but it was deemed an act of God, leaving them in the clear.
God, he knows what turns you on.
Have fun.
Later that year in December, Dan was out at a nightclub when a fight broke out amongst 2 women who were arguing over Dan. Dan, being a man of action, he decided to protect his friend, but somehow in the process ended up kicking Vanessa sued for her injuries, claiming that she was only trying to break the fight up. They settled out of court, but Dan made, I had 2 women fight over me once. Sure, it was at a parent-teacher meeting, and it was my mom and my 4th grade teacher, Miss Stewart, and they were arguing if I should be held back a grade or not. But it's still pretty much the same thing, right? Yeah, me and Dan live pretty similar lives. In 2015, Dan decided to broaden his horizons and announced he was running for president of the United States for 2016. Oh great, another rich guy run for president with more boring campaign promos. Not this time. Whoa, is anyone else now super into politics? Or is it just me?
I have the weirdest boner.
Dan eventually let go of his dreams of having a topless foam party in the Oval Office and endorsed another Republican for the election. I wonder who an insanely rich womanizing gun enthusiast would vote for? Yeah. This same year, Dan got into a public feud with Nick Ritchie, the owner of the popular gossip website The Dirty. The two ended up challenging one another to a public boxing match with a price tag of $250,000. Now, challenging another online celeb to a fight? Who even does that? The Brawl in the Balls! By the fall of 2015, the feud reached a boil up when Dan sued The Dirty for publishing a story which claimed he gave a Playboy playmate chlamydia. So Dan, he's totally not a bad guy. he does have his charity work. Gotta help me out here. 2016 has been a bit more drama free, but since this is Dan Bilzerian we're talking about, that basically means no one sued him that year. He launched his own gambling site called Blitz Fantasy. He's been doing some ads for it on his social media. You may have noticed. He spent $100,000 on lotto tickets just for fun and posted a photo of this to Instagram. He designed his own line of custom Bilzerian emojis, which were banned from the App Store for showing coke use, and a goat and a woman having, well, let's just say, the woman wasn't riding the goat. The goat was riding the woman. But I don't know if you could really call him the winner. Sure, he got $600,000, but after the race he was bedridden with a fever, a depleted immune system, dead legs, with his cat Smushball, and well, all his guts. He is currently waiting for his friends to agree to a bet of $5 million for Dan to row across the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat. But as to whether or not this will happen, we'll just have to wait and see, because this is after they're famous. My name is Michael McCreten and we make all sorts of celebrity bios on here. Dan Bilzerian is one of the first ones I made that blew up and birthed this channel. So thank you, Dan. Thank you guys for viewing. If you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe, check out our other ones.